It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
That's the bottom line. Everybody dies.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Woo! Yes,
Now, welcome to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Good evening, all the fans out there. Thank you for tuning in to Off the Mat, the only wrestling talk show right here on WWSRN. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg. Of course, with me at this time, my co-host, Mr. Alex Lowe's. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Josh. It's been an awesome week for professional wrestling. We got stuff to get into about Impact Rebellion, MLW, New Japan, you name it. Stick with us here the whole way through the show, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a great one for you.
And a man who he has a new addition to his family, so he's very excited about that. And congratulations to him as well. He did miss my 30th surprise party for it, but that's okay. I forgive him for that. That is Mr. Lyle Gillen. What's happening, man?
It's going really well. Really excited about getting my new puppy, and really had a great weekend with him, and so glad I went down and got him.
No mention of my birthday. Thanks. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Well, Speedy was there. Speedy had a great time. So that was cool, though. So thanks for that, Lyle. Appreciate it.
No
anyway,
problem. Anytime.
What happened?
No problem. Anytime.
Yep, that's him. Lyle Douchebag Gillen, everybody. There he is. Loud and proud. That's for damn sure. So pretty much how you can listen to us, how you can view our app. Well, it's quite simple. The app is free. If you have an iPhone, you type in WWSRN on the Apple Store. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store. You type in Worldwide Sports. Also, check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com. You can check out our show schedule, our articles, all of our content, everything out there. If you missed the show, any clips that you liked, any repeats you want to hear again. Also, again, on our app, if you're driving, you can listen to the audio feed as well. So there's so many different ways you can listen and watch all of our great content and our great shows that we have here at WWSRN. So, I mean, that's always a great thing. Also, the number to call in, 203-903-8271. That's 203-903-8271. I'm also going to open up the Facebook page in a second to read all your comments during the show. If you don't want to call in, that's a way we can engage you, the fans, as well. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, you name it. We are on it, and it is all free just for you guys and gals out there as we love to talk about wrestling. And we're going to jump right into it. And pretty much, also really quick, Alex, if you want to tell the fans about the website as well, tell them about the website that you created as well.
Yes, so we have a Google website, which is in the bio of our Twitter account, Off the Mat WWSRN. That is at Off the Mat WWSRN. Feel free to check out everything on that website. We have a pay-per-view and live show page for all the big pay-per-views happening this month. And we also have a special announcement page. It features the announcement for our Off the Mat anniversary show, which is June 15th.
Absolutely, and we're excited for that. We can't wait for that. That's a big part of that for sure. I know Lyle wasn't here at the beginning of it, but he's been with us the last few months, and we're happy to have him on the show with us. He's really been a huge asset for this program, so we love it. Let's jump into it, boys. And, now that WrestleMania is over, we're starting to get into Double or Nothing with AEW. Then kind of once AEW Double or Nothing is over, it's kind of like the dead zone for wrestling, because now you got Wrestle Kingdom is finished, WrestleMania is finished, Double or Nothing is finished. And you really don't have anything to really look forward to, I guess, till you could say SummerSlam.
All out.
August, and what'd you say?
All out.
Yeah, but you could say All Out, too. Last year's All Out was a little disappointing.
Well, it depends on when they have it If they have it in earlier August, and
I mean, it could be September, so that's why I said
yeah,
SummerSlam.
yeah.
SummerSlam is going to be in August. So really till SummerSlam happens, you really don't have much to look forward to. So like the June, July part of it is kind of dull. It's kind of nicer for the kids to stay up later now because there's no school, so they can watch the programming and everything like that. So that's kind of a nice thing. I remember when I was a kid, I used to have that during the summertime. I'd be able to stay up later and watch Raw and stuff. But right now, leading up to Double or Nothing, there's something that happened this past week, and that was at Impact's Rebellion, and that is Kenny Omega. There's a couple of topics we're going to get into. We'll start with Kenny Omega winning the Impact and the TNA Heavyweight Championship, as he now holds championships in AAA. He holds championship in AEW. He holds championships in Impact, and it's split with TNA because it's all one company. So when you look at what they're doing with Kenny Omega right now, they're making him a powerful beast, as you could say. Mm-hmm. They're making him the champion of all champions. They're making him a guy that nobody can beat right now. He's on the top game. He's the guy that holds all the belts. He's somebody that really, when you look at it, is the best in the world, and there's nobody that could touch him. This is the Kenny Omega we were waiting for when he signed with AEW. That's what Don Callis has said. This, the Kenny Omega that came over here from New Japan to AEW at the beginning was not the Kenny Omega that we saw in New Japan. That was not the same guy. This is the cleaner, the same character. So I know Lyle wants to touch on this a lot. I'll let him go first with this. Lyle, what were your thoughts when Kenny Omega, which by the way had a very good match with Rich Swann. Rich Swann's promo was not great before the match. I'll give that. I fell asleep during it. I was watching the show. But the match was really good. What were your thoughts on Kenny Omega beating Rich Swann and now holding championships in both AAA, AEW, and in Impact?
Well, I will just disagree on that one thing. I don't think the match was really good. I think it was solid, but Rich Swann definitely didn't have the greatest match. It could have been way better, but overall, this is more so a moment that you don't see often. I think the last time a wrestler had 3 world championships and 3 different promotions was, I think, goes back to the 50s with Lou Thesz, if I remember correctly. It's not something we're going to see again for a very, very long time. It's something we should definitely appreciate. Kenny Omega, and I've said this before, he is the best wrestler of this generation. And I don't think anybody can really dispute that. I don't think anybody is even remotely close to him at all. You look at what he did in New Japan. You look at what he's doing here. And I don't know if you guys can tell me someone who's on the same level as him that has done anything remotely that he has done in the last 5 years. I can't think of anybody. But what I want to say about Kenny Omega is that this is a treat. He is one of the best, and I think it's about time that all the people who just love to hate him blindly because they don't follow him and they only get their opinions off of him because of Jim Cornette, who has no idea what he's talking about because it's not 1985 anymore. They need to shut up and start paying attention to him. Now, I don't think he's going to be a guy who ends his career on a Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. That's extremely hard to do. But I think he is very comparable to Bret Hart. A guy who's extremely good in the ring, a guy who has a great character, but isn't the greatest on the mic. Now, when you look at him, I think he's pretty identical to Bret Hart, actually. Now, their wrestling style is completely different, but overall, look at what they're both from Canada. At their build, what their build is, I think they're very, very, very similar.
See, it's interesting. I like the comparison to Bret Hart because the other one I would have said was Shawn Michaels. The only thing about Michaels was he was much better on the mic than Bret Hart was. If Omega was better on the mic, I would compare him to Shawn Michaels. The only problem is Michaels on the mic was really good. Other than I lost my smile promo, which was still a joke to this day. It's cringeworthy, but whatever. Alex, what were your thoughts on what Lyle just said in regards to Kenny
I
Omega.
agree with Lyle about Kenny Omega. It makes perfect sense, and he kind of gives me that Kenny Omega comes off as a guy who kind of, in a way, I can relate to Ric Flair a bit, because Ric Flair, if you look back in the past couple years in wrestling, and even further back than that, Ric Flair, he talked a big game. He was a good mic worker, and Kenny Omega kind of fits that role there. He really does. He's somebody who is being elevated a lot by Don Callis, and Don Callis has taken him to new heights since he crossed over from New Japan. And it's been very interesting to see Kenny Omega and his storyline with the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks.
Well, I mean, I look at it this way. You bring up Ric Flair. You could compare him to a lot of things. Lyle, you said Bret Hart. Alex, you said Ric Flair. And I think you could compare him to both those guys in the sense that Bret Hart and Ric Flair were both amazingly hard workers.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's face it, Bret Hart was a guy that never took a sick day, never missed a day. He worked year-round. I mean, he was a guy that put wrestling before his family at times. And then you look at Ric Flair. Ric Flair was part of a plane crash, struck by lightning, and they continued to wrestle later on. I mean, it's insane when you look at the way these, and then a guy like me, I said Shawn Michaels. When you look at the agility and the way his wrestling style is in the ring, it's very similar to Shawn Michaels. It just, he's not as good on the mic as Michaels was. I mean, I know you said if there's a guy that can compare to Omega's work ability. And like I said, another comparison is if you wanted to even bring up another guy that you could compare him to, and it's very similar, if he was a little bit better on the mic, that's Chris Jericho. I think he's exactly what Chris Jericho is.
I can agree to that to a degree.
I mean, Jericho even said it, that they both have said it about each other. Kenny has said he embolized Chris Jericho forever. That was a guy he looked up to. I mean, they're both from the same in Winnipeg. They're both from that area. They're both from that was the whole thing. I mean, their styles are so similar, and that's why they had their match at Wrestle Kingdom. They had that match because they both their styles were similar, the way their personalities were similar. Just listen, nobody touches Jericho on the mic. Jericho's one of the
great.
No,
Jericho's
unbelievable.
best mic workers in wrestling history. I mean, there's no debating that. So my question to you is, Alex, I'll start with you first. When you see what Kenny Omega's done the last few weeks, the last few months, I mean, the only guy I can strictly say that I think that could go toe-to-toe with him in the ring for his work ability is probably Okada. And that's probably the guy that you could say has a case against Kenny in being the best in the world. And that's always been the argument for the last so-and-so years. Who's better, Okada, Omega? Omega, nobody knows. We've had matches with the two of them. They both have beaten each other before. They both have had unbelievable. I mean, they've had multiple 5-star matches from Dave Meltzer. Alex, I start with you. What do you think is next for Omega in regards to the future with all these promotions now?
I think it's going to be a mix of different promotions. I think that different stars are going to come in from Impact, AAA, Ring of Honor. And they're gonna challenge Kenny Omega. They're gonna go straight for Kenny Omega, and Omega's gonna have different challengers. And there's two challengers I'd like to see come over from Ring of Honor in particular. One is Jay Lethal, and two is Jonathan Gresham. I want to see that type of match, those type of main event caliber matches.
I like that idea. I like the Gresham. Actually, the Lethal idea would be spectacular. I think with those two.
I like the Gresham one. That's rude. That intrigues me a lot more.
Yeah, both of them are great though. They're both really good. Let's be real here. Jay Lethal's been in this business for 15 plus years, probably longer. I mean, Jay Lethal's a guy that he has so much talent, and he does. I mean, look, he was one of the guys on the back carrying the Ring of Honor flag the last couple of years. He was a guy when Impact was big before Hogan did his thing and ruined everything. Jay Lethal was a big part. I mean, look, Jay Lethal had multiple personalities. That was awesome when he did the Macho Man stuff. And then Jonathan Gresham is so underratedly one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Nobody talks about him. He is. It's just
I
a
agree.
fact. Look at his matches with Ring of Honor. It's great. His style, the way he works. I mean, look, we mentioned these names, and Lyle, I'm curious what your thoughts are after you heard those ideas. What do you think is going to happen going forward?
I think they're going to continue having him go after world titles. They were hinting a little bit on Twitter of him and Ospreay. I don't see that as being
cool.
It would be, but I don't think that
be.
is realistic right now with the pandemic.
No, of course
Yeah,
not.
that's true.
I think the most realistic choice would be for him to beat Nick Aldis, but the problem is, from what I have heard, is that Nick Aldis does not want to do the job to him. I don't know why, because apparently Nick Aldis wants to bring more eyes to NWA, but look at who he's been facing recently for the title. Faced Michael Bennett, great wrestler, but he's not going to bring any more names. Like, you face Kenny Omega, who's a generational talent. You're going to bring more money, and you're going to bring more views to the product, without a doubt. You look at what he's done with Impact and how much money they've made from their pay-per-views. Impact has made out like they robbed a gold mine with this entire partnership. Look at what they've been doing. They are on the favorable end by far.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he want to do this? It just doesn't make sense to me. Well, that's a rumor. It's not confirmed. It's a rumor that I've heard, but I think that would be the best thing to do. Give him it's definitely one of the most recognized titles in professional wrestling history, the NWA Championship. I think that would be another great thing for him to do, is go and get that, and it'll be another big monumental thing. Because what have we all been talking about since Sunday in wrestling?
It's Omega winning the championship at Rebellion.
Yeah, that and Impact.
Yeah.
Who talks about NWA? Nobody.
I
Now,
mean, it's weird because, I like your idea, too, with all this. Because the thing is, he jobbed to Cody at All In.
he did.
I mean, that was and what it did was it generated revenue for NWA because it tuned more eyes to NWA when Cody won the championship. It was weird, even when Marty Scurll was challenging him, it generated eyes and it brought people to want to watch the show because it's a name. It's a name that is built that people know about. And I agree with you, Lyle. I look, they can always have Nick Aldis do what he did against Cody, where he loses the championship and then gains it back later on. I mean, you could always,
of course, yeah.
I mean, that's just. That could be the case. The thing I'm waiting. I'm waiting on Okada. And that's what I'm waiting on.
That's gonna happen.
And that's going to happen, and they will make sure New Japan and AEW are both going to make sure that happens. They will. There's just so many different routes. Because that's the beauty of holding the championship now in so many different promotions, right?
Yeah.
Is that you can now work with anybody. Hey, I can work with this guy and that guy.
And the problem with Impact is that they don't have a babyface that can really feed off of beating him. They don't have anything. There's nobody in that company that I want to watch to beat Omega.
Well, there is one. There's one or two you could think of. Sammy Callahan, or
but he's not a babyface.
But he's not a babyface, though.
Chris Sabin.
I don't think either of them are really actual baby faces.
No, Chris Sabin is. Sabin is.
Sammy's definitely not.
That would be a who, Sabin?
No.
Callahan. No, Callahan's a heel.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome match with those two.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
I mean, that would be legit because the thing is, if you look, the other guy I could think of, and they're starting to make him a face that's an underrated talent that we don't talk about is Josh Alexander. I mean, Josh Alexander is a guy that we look at.
I can picture that.
When
they built him up, yeah.
When you see how they've built him up, and you see what they've done with him, and he just won the X Division Championship. I want to see him have a rivalry with Ethan Page.
That would be really cool.
That with the North breaking up, and that would be kind of a cool thing.
One thing about this whole Omega Impact thing, it has had the reaction by people who they are the WWE loyalists, the stands who only follow that product, and anything that is not WWE, they try and crap all over and bring it down. Their reaction to this was every time people were talking about the Impact and Kenny Omega winning. Okay, I'm going to chime in and talk about Roman Reigns. No one cares. It comes off as very petty, very pathetic, because that's kind of what those type of people are, in my opinion.
But you see, that's really quick. That's John Alba brought this up last week, though. You see, it gets under your skin.
Oh, it definitely
it
does.
And John Alba said it. You should not let these people affect what you're.
They don't affect me.
But you talk about it. But you talk about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
But you talk about it because it gets you a reaction. So therefore, it's kind of it's a hypocritical thing when you say it doesn't affect you, but then you say it bothers me.
Yeah.
You gotta let these people.
I want to continue my bite.
No, I understand what you're saying, but you gotta let these people do what they want, and you do what you want, and the bigger person is to ignore it. Who cares? They're just people behind a keyboard.
Keyboard warriors.
They're idiots. They're idiots. And if you're one of those people out there, I don't take you serious, because I'm gonna flat out say it. Kenny Omega is a generational talent. Roman Reigns is where he is because he is with a generational talent. Kenny Omega does not need to have Don Callis with him in order to get to where he is. He did the same character in New Japan, and he was gigantic. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns is only where he is because of Paul Heyman. If he doesn't have him, he is not where he is right now. This entire thing is not where it is because Roman Reigns by himself is not anything. Kenny Omega is going to be one of the best of all time, and one of the best to ever be remembered.
Roman Reigns is going to be remembered.
I'm not saying he won't be, but he's not going to be on the same level as Kenny Omega.
He might not be on the same level as Omega, but he's going to be remembered. He will be remembered.
Maybe.
He's on a ton of WrestleMania matches.
We'll see how he's looked at the end. But
exactly.
Here's the thing. These people try and say that Kenny Omega is not good. Kenny Omega is not a good wrestler, blah, blah, blah. And then when you try and tell them that he is, their response is, oh, well, it's my opinion. Okay, well, you know what? There's a difference between opinion and fact. There is an opinion is that Tom Brady is a great a fact is that Tom Brady is a great quarterback. A fact is that LeBron James is a great basketball player. A fact is that Mike Trout is a great baseball player. A fact is that Kenny Omega is a phenomenal wrestler and a great wrestler. An opinion would be to say that one of those are the best in the world or the greatest of all time. That's an opinion. You look at what Kenny Omega has done his entire career, and what Cage Match has rated his matches, and what Meltzer has. So many and stats are there to prove that he has the match quality, and to be a great wrestler. There's a difference between fact and opinion. Mm-hmm. A fact is that Kenny Omega is a great wrestler. If you don't think that, then you are disagreeing with fact.
But you see, people might think that Roman Reigns is a great wrestler. People might think Roman Reigns is a great wrestler. And, just because Dave Meltzer gives 5-star ratings.
It's not the end all be all, but it's.
No, I'm just saying. It's far from the end all be all.
It is very much, but I'm using that as an example because that's showing that there isn't just one person out there thinking this. There are millions of people who do think this. Because, like I said, he is a great wrestler. Dave
Meltzer's also misogynistic, so, we will go with that.
So is Jim Cornette.
They both, I never said that Jim Cornette was smart.
I know, I'm just saying, they used to be very good friends.
Legitimate.
It makes sense why they are.
Charlotte Flair was ridiculous. I mean, it's so misogynistic.
What exactly? I didn't even see his comment. I know that they were not.
I forget what it was, but he said something about why Charlotte has the name she has, and it was basically he was almost like discrediting her ability in the ring because of the name that she has is the reason why she got where she is, and that's bogus. That's not why she's where she is. She's not there because she's a Flair. She's there because she's Charlotte. That's why she's where she is. She's the best women's wrestler in the world. You want facts? That's facts.
Now, I'm gonna say another. I'll play devil's advocate. Now, I will say that she got to the WWE because of her name, but she got to where she is now in the WWE because of her talent. Tamina Snuka is awful. I think she's terrible in the ring.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
And
Absolutely.
she got there because of who she is.
Yeah,
You look
the
at
difference is, I
Nia
guess,
Jax. I'll say it the same way. I think she can be good. It's just that she's not great. She would become farther up in the card and become better if she had more talent. But she is in the company because she is related to The Rock. Same reason why I think Roman Reigns got originally signed. He's related to The Rock. He got the chance. Same thing with The Rock's daughter. That's how they got in the door. It's up to you to push through the door and go the rest of the way. And Charlotte Flair is the best women's wrestler in the world. She got to where she is now in the company because of her. But she got to the company, I'll agree, because of who her dad is.
That's okay. You'll have to have connections.
Exactly.
You are allowed,
People do it.
You are allowed to.
People do it in the real world.
I mean, Alex, you know this. I mean, your father's a famous broadcaster.
Yeah.
I mean, you know all about this, and you have the last name, but it's up to you.
It's up to me to get my foot in the door and push.
That's
through.
exactly it. It's up to you. You don't want to be remembered you want to be remembered as Alex. That's what it is. You don't want to be remembered as Charlie's son, right? You want to be Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made a name for myself in this business, and that's where it all lies and stands.
Everybody,
Absolutely.
I'll say, it happens all the time.
I'm kind of doing that now with all the independent wrestling stuff that I've been doing.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely, and you're doing a hell of a job with it, man. I've
yes,
seen
you are.
For sure. Lyle, go continue.
I'm saying it's like that in the real world. I had chances to get into the same field as my father, but I didn't want to do that because I would always be looked at as my father's son, no matter how good I did. So I went my own direction. You have to, even when you have connections, you can use your connections to get your foot in the door, but it's up to that person to go beyond it. Mm-hmm. If you suck at what you do, you're not going to go anywhere. Period. That's how the world works. Now, are there always exceptions? Yes. But majority of it, if you are not good at something, you won't go anywhere. And Charlotte Flair is phenomenal. People want to be like, oh, well, why is she always there? I'm tired of seeing her. It's because she's freaking amazing. I think she's probably the best wrestler in that company. I don't think it's close.
And everybody complains that she's always getting these opportunities. But you know what? Why does she get these opportunities? Because who else is going to step up on that roster and take the opportunity?
Think about it this way. Now, in even like real fighting or real sports, you look at it, LeBron James is always at the top, always winning because he's LeBron James. Tom Brady did that for years, always winning championships, always at the top, always being the best because he's Tom Brady. You look at fighting, Muhammad Ali was always up there, always winning, and because he was the best. You look at it with this too. If you really think about it, if you are the best, if you deliver, if you go out there and you are the best in the ring in the company, you should have the most chances and the most opportunity to win the championships. That's how it should be, because that's kind of the most realistic. You're not going to take the worst wrestler and put him up there and keep winning. Meanwhile, there's better people in there. I don't think that's a very realistic way to go about it. Now, people want to have a realism factor to wrestling. That is a realism factor. That is why Kenny Omega has 3 world titles. That's why Charlotte Flair is always winning. That's why Okada had a 2-year-long reign in Japan. The best have the championships, regardless of who's around them, because there's a reason why they put the title on them, because they are the best.
Declan, who messaged us, Declan does a couple of shows here on WWSRN. He said, good stuff, guys. We appreciate that, of course, Declan, and you can always tune into his shows as well. All the shows here on WWSRN are phenomenal, great stuff that we have produced every single week. So we were continuing with AEW before, and we're going to touch base on this. So the NHL has agreed to a 7-year deal with ESPN and Turner Sports starting next season. And pretty much we don't know the nights they're going to be on TNT. We have no idea how this is going to work. And it's interesting. I've been back and forth on this idea all day, and I'm going to get to these guys in a minute. Because we saw NXT has been affected by it too, right? With everything going to USA.
I find that very funny, by the way.
Affecting everybody, the NHL. They're screwing everybody.
Hold on. Here's the funny thing, and I find it's very, very, very funny. So the USA Network, they moved NXT to Tuesdays because the assumption was that the NHL was going to be on Wednesdays, doing Wednesday Night Rivalry because NBCSN is going kaput, going bye-bye. However, what's funny is that the deal with NBC and the NHL is kaput. It's gone, goodbye, done. That is why they are doing TNT and ESPN. So TNT now gets the privilege of having AEW all by themselves on Wednesdays and the NHL. And now NBC gets NXT on Tuesdays and no NHL. I'm sorry, I find it very, 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 very ironic and funny.
I look at it this way. I think it's a benefit anyway to NXT that they've moved to Tuesday nights as well. But I am curious to see how they go about this.
Well, I've been doing some reading up about it, and the only thing that I can say for a fact is that Turner has the Winter Classic, which it's usually an afternoon game on New Year's Day. That itself will not affect.
Well, what about the NBA Finals?
Well, that's usually on ABC.
We never thought about that.
But they get the playoffs now.
But Turner gets round one, and they get part of round one. It'll probably be split between ESPN and Turner. However, they also are going to be doing TBS. So they have that option to work around it and put it on TBS.
What, the NBA playoffs?
No, NHL.
Oh,
I don't know where we got NBA from. But
they'll put the NHL
so they also are going to be having some Stanley Cup final games, which that could more likely, in my opinion, move AEW than the round one because, like I said, they can just put it on TBS. That's not as big of a deal. Round one's not as big of a draw. The finals are. That's going to be set in stone based off of arena scheduling, NHL scheduling. That could. But even when you look at what the NHL does generally for national games, they generally have a weekend afternoon game, and they'll have Wednesday night game. That's what they do now. So that's 2 games. One of them is in prime time. The other one's afternoon. Now we don't know for a fact if they're going to still have the Wednesday night game, the NHL. My assumption is why not? It's been working for a while. What I believe is going to happen is that the weekly primetime game will be on ESPN. Then Turner can fill in what NBC used to get, which was the weekend game that was in the afternoon. And they would have that there on like Saturday, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock game. Because NBC doesn't have that anymore. NHL doesn't have that at all. So I think that is more likely what's going to happen if they do have regular season games on Turner and TNT besides the Winter Classic. It's a weekend afternoon game. Because that's what it used to be. It used to be the Wednesday night game and then a weekend afternoon game. So I think the weekend afternoon will go to TNT and then the nighttime, primetime game is going to be on ESPN, whenever they decide to do it. But that's my assumption. So I don't think it's going to affect AEW at all. Because they generally outdraw, hi Millie, most NHL games now. So why would you want to move AEW when you're getting more ratings from them? That just does not make sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't think that's their plan. I think their plan is to have it a weekend afternoon game and Winter Classic. And then playoffs.
Possibly. I mean, they could. I mean, if they really wanted to, even they could put NHL on TBS if they wanted to as well. If they wanted to put a secondary market, because again, AEW does draw more ratings than the NHL does. It's a fact. It is what it is, especially
The last couple of weeks.
In the last couple of weeks, but also in the United States alone. So when you look at it, it's interesting. NXT sticking to Tuesday nights is totally fine. That's the best way to go about it. I think it is.
Absolutely.
Alex, what are your thoughts when you hear the scenarios that Lyle threw out at you that you think it's going to be fine?
I think it's going to be fine. I agree with Lyle. I think it's going to have no effect on AEW. I think I think shows are just going to run it as normally as they have been, and with viewership and everything, I don't think viewership is going to take much. I don't think viewership is going to be taken away because of that.
It shouldn't, and I don't think like Lyle was saying. When you look at it, I don't think the NHL is really going to. I mean, the NHL will be on, but if it's on the same night, so pretty much when I look at the situation and I look at how AEW is going, it's. I don't think it's going to be affected. I'd be very surprised. I mean, I think it's good for all parties. I'm excited to see ESPN be bringing back the NHL too. I like
That's gonna be great. I'm so excited.
The NHL theme. I think I hate ESPN. ESPN sucks. ESPN's trash. It's garbage.
Yeah.
They're garbage. But listen, look at it this way. With the way it's going to be for AEW, it's not going to change anything. They'll do everything that they've been normally doing, and that's the end of that. So, Alex, you want to get to your MLW stuff right now?
I just want to touch base on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite that we saw.
Sure, that's fine.
I thought the promo at the end of the Ricky Starks versus Hangman Page match was interesting because after the match, Taz cut a promo warning Page to watch his back because Team Taz has been involved in a feud about the Ricky Starks Hangman Adam Page match. It's just at the end of that match, the promo was very interesting because Taz took a shot at Hangman Page, warning Page to watch his back because the Dark Order has been getting involved in a struggle in a fight with Team Taz, basically putting themselves in front of Team Taz, and Taz doesn't like that. He wants Team Taz to be the main stable in AEW, the main face of AEW, and he's doing his best to do that. But you have Christian Cage, who he got offered by Taz to join Team Taz, and he shut them down. So Team Taz has kind of just not been on. They've been on a power struggle lately.
Well, when you look at it this way, it's a storyline. It's getting Christian involved in something. The bigger issue that, like you were talking about, Alex, is the Brian Cage thing. It's where's
Brian Cage going to go?
Like, what's he doing? Is he still a part of this faction and everything like that? The thing that stuck out for me, I mean, it just seems like I'm actually excited about this week's AEW because you're going to see 10 go up against Darby Allin, which I think is going to be a phenomenal match. I'm very excited about that match, and I'm curious.
It's going to be a great match.
Great match.
What your thoughts are on that one, Alex?
Oh, I'm excited about it because the past couple weeks, the TNT champion Darby Allin has been phenomenal with these performances. You saw his performance against Matt Hardy. You've seen his performance against Jungle Boy. And now we're getting 10. So there's just been a line of competitors that have been throwing at Darby Allin, and Darby's been answering these challenges.
Can I make a funny point?
Yeah.
Remember that narrative when it was from the people who obviously don't watch AEW that all they do is sign the old guys from WWE and don't build any young talent? Can we look at what the last few weeks have been?
For Darby Allin, exactly.
The entire cards have been them building younger talent. And they're new talent. So you look at that, and it's been this way for a while.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And people, they didn't watch the product, I don't know why. I'm assuming it's because NXT was on, but I'm not sure why. And they had this narrative that, and AEW is just WCW 2.0. They don't build young talent. It was a horrible narrative because it was false. You look at what they have done, Sting is only there to talk. He doesn't wrestle. Show hasn't had one match. He's probably not going to ever have a match. I don't think so. That entire narrative was stupid. And now that they're alone on Wednesdays, they're proving that entire thing was idiotic.
Really quick, I just got to get to the comment section. Christopher Brown says, that's just it, Lyle. If AEW were building new talent, then why bring Sting in? And the other comment he said was, during the winter months, the change may screw with AEW's plans for a second show. So Christopher is also asking you the question, Lyle. That's just it, Lyle. If AEW were building new talent, then why bring Sting in?
I'll get to that. The other question about the new show, it's going to... I have always been under the assumption that their new show won't be like how WCW had a Thunder or something like that. I always am under the assumption, and that's all it is right now, the assumption, that it's going to be another 1 hour show. It's going to be a 1 hour show to help build more storylines and be on TNT and do what Dark was originally supposed to do, but now no longer on YouTube. I don't think it will be Dark. I think Dark will become obsolete, and they're just going to use Dark Elevation. The other part about Sting, I don't see why it's bad to bring Sting in. He's there not because they don't have any young talent. He's there because they are a company that's not even 2 years old, and they're going to be trying to bring in other talent, or build other talent, I should say, excuse me. Because that's how you build new talent. You take established talent, and they put over younger talent. He's helping put over Darby Allin. He's helping put over Lance Archer.
Yep.
Sting isn't going to have any matches where he goes and he squashes younger talent, or he goes and wins championships. That's not what he's there to do. There's a difference here. This isn't WWE bringing in Goldberg, and people don't understand how to separate the two. Sting is there to build new talent.
Exactly. He's there to he's there to drag and take younger and newer talent to unbelievable heights. There's
a difference between what WWE does with established older talent and what AEW is doing. People need to understand the difference. They're not, the companies aren't even in their same point in their existence. WWE has been around forever, and they're taking Goldberg and making him champion because they don't build new talent. AEW is bringing in older guys who are established names to be managers and to put over younger talent, which is what they have been doing from
Absolutely.
day one.
I mean,
they did that with Jake the Snake, Arn Anderson.
Example.
Go for it, Alex.
Look at Tully Blanchard in the Pinnacle. Look at what he's doing.
He had one match, and what did he do in that match? Like 2 moves?
He sold everything.
Yeah, he had like 2 moves, I think, when he did do anything. There is a difference here. And people are used to watching WWE for a while, so they're only used to that one formula. People have to understand, in professional wrestling, there are many different ways to have a successful show. But what AEW is doing is they are taking established names and building new talent. That's how you have to do it. You can't just put young guys out there and say, go make a name for yourself, kid. They're never going to get over. Mm-hmm. It's not the same company. It's not the same formula. They're at a different point in their time. People have to understand how to separate the two. And Sting is not there because they don't have any new young talent. He's there to help put over young talent for a young company.
I mean, that's why they're signing even certain guys. You know, I'm looking at like a Christian Cage right now, and he's fighting with Taz's squad.
Yeah. And who are they going to be? Who is he going to be putting over?
Probably Brian Cage.
I'm going to say Will Hobbs.
He could put over Will Hobbs too. Well, he didn't put over Ricky Starks.
People have to understand also when putting over, the only way to put someone over is not by losing to them. You can make somebody look like $1 million and still win.
Exactly. I mean, like look at
the
Hikaru Shida Tai Conti match.
I was just going to say that.
I mean, Shida was throwing everything at Tai, and Tai looked great in that match. And it was mostly because of Shida. Shida was making Tai look good.
Now, what about Britt Baker? Her match with Thunder Rosa. She came out a star, and she lost. There are different ways to do things.
I look at it in the sense of, when I look at that, I think of Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Exactly. Great example.
Where Stone Cold lost the match, Bret Hart won, but Stone Cold is the guy that looks like the.
Yep.
If you even want to go, if you want to go even in today's age, with recent wrestling, I could go back to NXT Takeover New York, where Matt Riddle faced Velveteen Dream. Right, Dream won the match. Mm-hmm. Matt Riddle looked like $1 million in that match. Dominated the whole match, and the guy that the fans cheered for won. So it makes both sides look great in the end. That's how you make business.
Ironically.
Yeah, honestly, it's
well, everyone cheered Velveteen. That went over really well in the long run.
Well, hey, listen. Look at it this way. Go back to I'll go back to, like I said, Austin and Hart. With Austin and Hart, Bret was the face. Austin was the heel. Yep. Austin didn't tap out. He didn't get pinned. He passed out from too much blood loss. He looked great in the match. The moment was huge. It was a turning point at the time for the WWE. And Bret Hart looked like a guy that, at that point, it looked like a face-heel kind of switch.
Yeah,
everybody was doing well. So that's business. I mean, look at it this way. Thunder Rosa won the match, but Britt Baker was somebody that was over. And look, Thunder Rosa was no slouch in that match.
Oh, no, not at all.
Thunder Rosa was bleeding also in that match. She was the first in that match. People forget that because they just remember Britt's face and the way the shirt came out. People don't remember, Rosa was the one that was bleeding first in that match. Took the bumps first. So I think it made both parties look good. And there's a way you could do it in wrestling. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, it's the same thing for Ty Conti. Like, Sheeta was delivered the most damage on Conti. Conti did a good job selling all those moves, taking all those moves, and then she came back with the most momentum in the middle part of the matchup. Mm-hmm. And that's how you go about business in wrestling. You make both opponents look good.
Yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And the reason why I think people don't understand that this is a concept is because the majority of people in North America watch for about 20 years, watched one product, WWE. They watched their formula, not the formula that the rest of the world was doing.
No.
WWE's formula. And WWE's formula has been for a while, when you lose a big match, you go down a little bit. The rest of the world, you lose a big match, but if you still look good, you can still continue your momentum.
Absolutely. It just depends on the scenario of the match and how things are going in the matchup and who's being put in the right direction.
I mean, there's a way you can make both parties look great, right?
100%.
That's how business usually should be done. I mean, unless.
And people don't understand that's what Cody has been doing. Look at majority of what he has been wrestling in AEW. Mm-hmm. Most of it has been against younger guys. He's been beating them, but the other guys have looked really good. Start off. You can start when he was the TNT champion, and he was wrestling guys every time. He was wrestling younger talent and making them look good. When did you see Sonny Kiss ever have that good of a match on national TV?
If you want to go to WWE, I could even say NXT with Ciampa. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa came right in, face carrying cross, and put him over.
Yep. In
less than 10 minutes. That's when you see a character that's built that way, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of person that those people are with the business. They care about the business, that they want to support everybody in it.
There are different ways to really put someone over. What I think is really interesting about what AEW is doing right now to make new talent is the factory. The stereotypical stable is you have one guy who's the leader, and he's generally the guy that, in the end, gets put over the most. And he's the guy who is the one that gets all the attention. But what the factory is doing is their leader is being booked as essentially a manager.
Mm-hmm.
But he still wrestles. They're using the leader to put everybody else over, instead of the traditional way, which is everybody else to put over the leader and to make that person the guy who benefits the most from the faction. Because that's what a faction in stable is supposed to do. It's supposed to make somebody become a star.
Exactly. Like, for example, Minoru Suzuki putting over Doki and putting over ZSJ in New Japan.
Yes. But what you look at, what the factory is intending to do, they're putting over Ogogo. That's going to be the guy who becomes the star out of that faction.
Absolutely.
He's the guy who's going to be getting the parachute put on his strap to his back, and he's going to be going away with it. He's going to be the guy, and he's looked good at the beginning. That's what that is intended to do. And
really
I think
quick, get to the fans' comments really quick.
Sure.
Christopher Brown had another comment. He said the reason why WWE hasn't been building new stars live is because Vince is paranoid of them leaving the business and following in Dwayne's, Batista, Cena's footsteps. That's what driving them not to be building megastars anymore.
I don't agree with that. I've seen that people saying that. I don't agree with it because them becoming megastars makes WWE more money. Now, I look at The Rock as an anomaly. Majority of people who have transcended the business have been there for a while. Stone Cold would have stayed there, but he got injured and had to retire. Look at John Cena. He was there for 15 years. Look at Batista. He was there for a decade. These guys were there, and then when their time was done, they moved on. I don't believe that. I believe that the company has become so restricted in everything that they do that it's become extremely difficult for guys to really push through the glass ceiling and go to the next level. Because everything they do it's so scripted. It's so micromanaged.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about Kevin Owens every week. Give him a little bit more rope and let him go, and he can become so huge. And I think it's just because, not that they are afraid of them leaving after stars, because, like I said, that makes them so much money. That brings so much more eyes onto the company. I don't agree with that narrative, and I'm not saying he's wrong for it. A lot of people think that. I think it's just that they are afraid of them looking bad out there. And they want to try and do what they want them to do. Because they are comfortable in their own bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't trust enough people.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at Daniel Bryan, for example. Daniel Bryan said something on Twitter that caught my eye. He said, and he also said it to some a variety of sources. He said the WrestleMania match, he felt it was an out of body experience for him. He didn't feel or like he was actually putting on a great performance. He felt like he was being micromanaged.
That's what happened with CM Punk. And we saw what happened to him once he was given a little bit more leeway.
And Daniel Bryan, he wants to leave now. He
does.
He thinks he's saying he may not want to wrestle anymore.
I mean, you heard it from CM Punk. Even Punk didn't even. He wrestled Taker at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Okay, fine." He felt he should have been in that main event spot with Daniel Bryan, but instead they were going to put him in a match with Triple H. So, and he felt like, this is not where I deserve to be.
Now,
you're micromanaging me, and it's just, and it's not right. My character is just as over as Daniel Bryan's. I have just as much talent as Bryan, and yet you keep putting me in these specialty matches with part-timers every year at WrestleMania, and it's wrong. Now,
let's look at Daniel Bryan for a moment. It's common knowledge they were not going to put him into the main event of WrestleMania 30.
No, they weren't.
It's because of one reason. They were going to take people they were comfortable with and push them. Not because they don't want guys becoming bigger than everything. They're not comfortable with them. They didn't know what Daniel Bryan was going to do because he's not the stereotypical mold that Vince likes. And you look at what majority of what he does, these guys that are extremely big, can't move for anything, and if they get a reaction, he makes them champion, regardless of how good they are. That was the sole reason he was going to have Batista win at WrestleMania 30, because it would piss everybody off. That's why Brock wins every single time. That's why he does this. Because instead of taking the guy and pushing him to the next level, he takes the guy and that's going to get the most reaction and pushes them. I don't agree with that. And it's obviously not working anymore. They have to start taking the guys who are over and giving them a chance to really be over. Kevin Owens was hot as can be when he was doing the storyline with Chris Jericho. They dropped the belt off of him to put it on Goldberg. You look at sometimes what they do, and it doesn't make sense because they don't try and make new stars. It's not like they don't want guys becoming the huge. They just aren't giving them a chance to.
Well, I want to move into speaking of giving chances to. I want to move into something. We're gonna do MLW at 9:15, so we're gonna do that. Then we'll get to some New Japan, and then we'll do some the fun activities that we're gonna do. There's a couple of storylines that I wanted to get your guys' opinion on, and it's two things. I want to start with the Mickie James situation that happened this past week. She got her stuff returned to her in a garbage bag from the WWE. It was all of her old outfits and everything like that. It was the care package, as they say. And the person from Talent Relations, whoever it was, got fired because of it. Now, Mickie then made a statement saying that she didn't wish anybody to be fired. She was just trying to make a point that, listen, this is not a way to treat somebody.
I think CM Punk said it when he got fired.
Jillian Hall said it happened 10 years ago to her. Should this have been figured out sooner than later, Lyle, and all this would have been avoided?
It has been hidden for a long time how bad WWE treats employees. And now that people have kind of been starting to talking once they are no longer in the company, more stuff is coming out. And it all really started with CM Punk. Once he really started unraveling it, then more guys have. Moxley, Big Show did also, and he did his interview. People are now not afraid to say how badly that company treats their employees because there are other options out there. So you can leave and they go, I don't give a crap. You treat me like crap. They are now realizing that they can make a crap ton of money by selling on pro wrestling tees, going on the indies, working on Impact, working in Ring of Honor, working in these other companies and doing more than just working in WWE.
Well, guys did that. Guys were doing that, but I think Cody was the trendsetter that said I could leave WWE.
Yeah. I'll agree with that to a degree. Yep, him and McIntyre, because McIntyre left and made a name for himself, but he decided to go back. But
Cody owns a company now.
Yes, he does.
A little different.
Yeah, I just think people aren't afraid anymore because they have options out there. They're realizing how much money they can make and what they can do because majority of those guys in those company, they were indie guys. They know how to make a character. They know what to do. They're getting taught all these tools on how to be good by WWE and then being micromanaged, and then they leave and they use all of that to put themselves over and make even more money. So
Absolutely.
The entire formula WWE has is kind of hurts them. Think about it. Their formula to teach them to become a star, micromanage them, piss them off, let them leave and do what they want, and then become a star on their own and make as much money as they want to. So they're trying to micromanage everybody to not become a star. And, well, they want to trademark everybody, I should say right there. So then they can't go to another company after they make them a star. But the problem is they're giving them the tools to become a star and then letting them go out there and make their own character to get over. WWE has kind of come to a point with social media that they are getting exposed. That's why that's happening now. People aren't afraid because of all these other companies.
Alex, what were your thoughts when you saw the news about this Mickie James stuff? Then we're going to get into the Chelsea Green stuff after, and then we'll get into MLW.
When I saw that, it kind of just it was to me. It was just disrespectful. It wasn't the best way to go about it. Putting her clothes in a trash bag and sending it that way to her. That's just it's unprofessional. It's an unprofessional way to go about it to me.
I mean, when you look at the way the situation is and the way it was mailed to her and the way it was shown, I mean, this is a woman that gave her life to that company.
Absolutely. She's been in WWE for decades. She gave her all to that company, and that's how that company treats her.
No, it was ridiculous. And I want to get into the Chelsea Green thing. So Chelsea Green had 2 headlines that come out. I don't know if you guys saw the recent one this morning. So pretty much there was an artist, there's artists that draw wrestlers, and they the wrestlers will take them and they will give them credit where the credit is due, right? These are struggling artists just as many as everybody else is struggling during the pandemic. They're all trying to make a living and do what they're doing. And Chelsea Green decided to take the picture from the artist, not give the credit to the artist. So the artist simply just asked her, Chelsea, I worked really hard on this. I don't mind that you take the picture. That's why I drew it. Would it be okay if you just gave me the credit for it? Now, the simple answer you would think is absolutely, of course, that's on me. I should have put that in the first place. Nay. Chelsea decided to write back to the person, I deleted it, and then blocked the artist afterwards, which to me was quite disturbing. I don't understand why a simple gesture, because listen, people are struggling. This is very different times than normal. Okay, just a simple credit to the artist is just, it goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, now, granted, did he give the okay? Maybe did he not? Did she give him the okay to take to draw the picture? No, but you know what though? She posted the picture, so clearly she liked the picture. It bothers me that a simple "I'm sorry," and then she wrote an apology and didn't unblock the artist, and then on top of that, it didn't even send an apology to the artist. My opinion, guys, Alex, I'll start with you first. When you hear something like this, how bad does this make somebody like Chelsea Green look?
It makes her look bad. It makes not only her look bad, but it just makes the mainframe of wrestling look bad, because Chelsea Green is representing a number of wrestling promotions.
Lyle, your thoughts?
I did photography for a while, so I understand where the artist is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
However, now technically, if she bought it, she doesn't have to give credit, so she doesn't have to do anything. If she did, then this artist was in the wrong by coming out and putting her on blast, because she owns that drawing. Now, if she didn't, then yes, she is in the wrong. Now, but I'm not gonna assume that she is in the wrong or that she didn't pay for it. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, because I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm also gonna give the artist the benefit of the doubt that she didn't pay for it. So I'm not gonna judge her. I'm not gonna judge him. I'm just saying that we have to understand that if she paid for it, she doesn't have to give anyone credit. That would be the artist.
True.
That would be the artist.
No, that's very true. But here's the thing:
that would be the artist.
I'm under the impression that, regardless whether you paid for it or not, you had somebody draw this up for you. I think it's out of respect that somebody worked on this.
That's by far.
Okay, who cares if they paid for it or not? It's a respect level thing. It's sending out a gesture. It's a nice gesture. It is a simple, nice job that you did, where it's giving out the recommendation to draw more business for this artist.
So,
regardless, she had to just do it that way. It was just so silly.
What artists do when they make a drawing is they sign it. Or what they'll do is they'll put like their company in the bottom right-hand corner and say who did it. You know, it won't be very large and very noticeable. It'll be just...
No, it's always like the bottom right-hand corner or something.
Yes, like you could go look back at the photos I used to take. Bottom right-hand photo corner. It wasn't stand out right in your face. It was there to be seen for somebody who wanted to know who did it. Now, that's on the artist. If someone buys your work, majority of them do that when they sell their work. So if he didn't do that and she bought it, that's on him. You should not tell somebody who bought it and then owns it to then give you credit. They don't have to do that.
But again, we don't know if she bought it. And the way it sounds from the artist, it doesn't sound like she bought it from him. It just sounds like he did it on his spare time.
We sound like it sounds like that because we saw him say it first.
No, I'm not sure. I'm just saying no.
Well, that's the impression it gives off.
What I'm going by is this. This all could have just been avoided if she just gave credit to the guy's name.
Oh, you're right. And did she handle it?
I mean,
unprofessionally.
That was the smart thing to do. Did we just want a story?
She did. Yeah, she handled it very unprofessionally. However, I'm gonna say, but like, there's more information we need, and I'm not gonna ultimately judge either party because that's not fair. I don't like doing that. That's
you
not
listen
me
to Ron
to
Allen's
judge.
interview too much. That's what you did.
No, that's just how I am. Like, I don't want to judge them when I don't have all the details. That's not fair to anybody.
No, it's not.
So the last thing we get to is before we get to MLW, really quick, Alex, just one more Chelsea Green thing about the deportation story that's happening. What is your thoughts, Lyle, on the fact that she could get deported back to Canada? This is how dead wrestling is, by the way, right now, by the way. This is what we're talking about.
It's definitely a possibility. But, she has a fiance who's American. All they have to do
her quickly.
All they have to do is just go down to City Hall, get married, and then boom, she's good. That's all they have to do.
They're probably going to do it and have a real wedding after. That's probably what they're going to do.
Yep.
Just do it that way. It makes sense.
That's what they will end up doing.
I mean, it would be so. That's kind of obnoxious if Cardona doesn't do that.
If he doesn't do that, he's probably a Ranger fan.
I want a real wedding. You're getting deported. I don't want you.
If he doesn't do that, he's probably a Ranger fan.
Oh, what did that have to do? Why do you say that?
Well, an Islander fan would marry his woman and help her stay in the country. He's from Long Island, so he's one of the two.
Again, that's you not stating facts. That's you stating an opinion about Ranger fans. So, again,
that's me trying to bust your chops.
I mean,
it works.
At the same time, I got Islander fans giving, doing babies in the parking lot in the 70s and the 80s, doing that story. So, they got that going on in the parking lot. So there's that.
Hey. When a baby's got to go, a baby's got to go.
I understand that, but damn, man, you didn't have to share that story. Jesus, spare me the details.
That was a little TMI.
Come on now, you damn right that was TMI.
For the people who don't know, a lady she was.
I said spare the details so we don't lose viewers.
Fine. If you want to hear it, I'll tweet it. You go to my Twitter account. It's at the bottom. I'll tweet a video of it, and you can watch it.
God bless you if you watch it. I'm trying to think what would be more disgusting. That or Chris Weidman's broken leg the other night on UFC. Which would be worse?
Oh, God, that was.
So anyway, Alex, let's get to MLW. Let's segue.
Yeah, go for it.
This week's MLW Fusion was really interesting. We had the first match was New Japan's Rocky Romero took on Gino Medina in a one-on-one match. I sent Josh the text of it, and I was very impressed with the matchup. I was impressed with how Gino was delivering in this matchup and how he was coming off in this match and putting on his best one of his best performances against Rocky Romero. And Rocky Romero he's just about done it all in wrestling and done everything in New Japan. So to see Gino take on Rocky was cool. And even though he lost, it still makes him look good. It still gives him that momentum in the company with MLW. And then we had the next match was King Mo defeated Robert Martyr. So this was just a squash match to present King Mo and make him look good. And I loved the promo. I thought the post-match promo was great. And it showed just how dangerous King Mo is, how physical of a human being he is in this sport.
Now, hold on a second. When you say King Mo.
Yes.
When I think about that, I think of the old WWE days with King Babel and King Mo. This is a different guy?
This is a different guy, yes.
Okay, I just think that... Isn't Mo... I think Mo died, didn't he?
Let's take a moment to understand and realize Josh does not watch MLW.
No, he doesn't.
I do not. No, I do not. I told Alex this, I don't.
No, and then we got the promo
No,
for.
I'm actually married, and I have like a social life. So,
Well, good thing it's on YouTube and you can watch it whenever you want.
Absolutely.
If only, listen to me. I'm sorry. I mean, I tune into Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, WWE, NXT, AEW.
Yeah, that's a lot of shows.
Your sister's ass. I turn into everything.
I have a sister? Yes. Is she a stepsister?
Let's get back to MLW. So
All right,
the promo of Marshall Von Erich responding to Tom Lawler. They're going to have a match this coming Wednesday on MLW Fusion. And Marshall Von Erich answered the challenge and called out Tom Lawler for being a disgusting human being, as he said it in this promo. I cannot wait because Marshall has a lot of heat with he has a huge feud with Lawler because Lawler, if you remember, I think it was 2018, 2019, Marshall Von Erich got injured because of Tom Lawler. So this is a heated feud. This is a heated rivalry. And then we got the announcement from Court Bauer. Alicia Toot was interviewing Court Bauer, who revealed that MLW will be coming to Vice TV May 5th. And Leo Rush versus Myron.
See, now I'll watch it.
Leo Rush versus
Leo.
Yeah, your boy Leo is taking on Myron Reed. They're going to have a second match that will take place on May 5th.
Your boy, is Gino going to be there?
Gino should be there too.
So wait, hold on. If we get Gino versus Leo Rush, we're going to have to have a friendly bet between you two.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing. The only thing I watch on MLW is only Leo Rush matches because I follow his YouTube channel. That's the only thing I watch on there.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexander Hammerstone.
Yeah, Hammerstone had a promo.
Oh, he's great.
He had a promo at the end of the show. But
now I'll fully tune in when they go to Vice.
But you're not fully tuning in. You're only partially tuning in.
Well, now I'm going to fully tune in because it's on television.
Mm-hmm. Vice TV. It'll be on Vice TV.
It'll be on Vice TV, and I have Vice.
But isn't
YouTube
really quick,
just
anybody to watch now? Just you can watch it on your Fire Stick.
What? I don't want to do
anytime
that.
you want.
Okay, so finish. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let Alex finish, and then
just let me finish this, and we'll get into it. And then we had Bo Kudal take on his former mentor TJP because TJP brought in Bo Kudal to MLW. And these two had a feud set up. TJP took out Bo Kudal a couple weeks ago backstage. And this was an idol versus protege match, and it looked really good. Both competitors looked really good in this matchup. I think that Bo Kudal really was doing a great job being technical in the ring with TJP. And TJP made Bo Kudal look very strong in the matchup, so bravo to both competitors in that one. And then after that, we had the Alex Hammerstone press conference. And Alex Hammerstone said after defeating Mil Murtis last week, he promised to hold a press conference to let the world know his next steps. And Jacob Fatu had been on a collision course ever since he was announced as number one contender, dating back to next year. And the press conference was short, but Hammerstone, he said he's tired of having two heavyweight singles titles, and he challenged Fatu to a title versus title match.
I have a question.
The show went off the air.
How can you become a number one contender next year?
It's dating back to last year, I mean.
Oh, okay. It confused me for a second.
Yeah. But I think this show ended strongly. I would give this episode of MLW 8.0 out of 10. 8.0 out of 10.
What if it's in the Tokyo Dome? What do you give it?
That depends if MLW wants to travel to Japan.
Let's just assume the show is in the Tokyo Dome. What do you give it? Come on.
10 out of 10.
I say 11 out of 10.
That's ballsy. Now you really want me to tune into this every week, don't you?
You're gonna have to. It's in the Tokyo Dome every week now.
I mean, look
Josh,
at-
what did you want to get in? What did you want to get in?
I got to get into this. For those of you that did not see the preview today, next Thursday, Dark Side of the Ring is back with the 2-hour special of Brian Pillman.
That's gonna be really good.
I saw the one about New Jack. That one was pretty interesting.
Oh my God, that wasn't even a special. That was manslaughter. That wasn't even a special. He was a convicted felon.
Do you think we could watch? Try and get Errol to watch Dark Side of the Ring?
I have.
You have. Oh, you have to get him watch the Benoit special.
I'm trying to get. I was at his house a few weeks ago. I tried to get him to watch I want to get him to watch the New Jack one because I thought he would find it fascinating. Because he's like, they let this guy wrestle. Holy crap!
Killed him twice. He killed 2 people.
What'd you say?
He killed 2 people.
And he left the state. Because he
I
made the guy
mean, he
for it.
busted.
I'm sorry. I find that absolutely hysterical that he stabbed the guy.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
he busted somebody wide open by hitting them with a steel chair.
Busted one open, Alex. He slit a guy with a razor blade open, and his organs were out of his head. What's the guy's name?
Mass transit.
Mass transit. I mean, come on, Alex.
That was bad.
The mass transit incident. Yeah. That
Holy
was,
smokes.
that's not-
And that all started because he asked him if he could put him through a table.
I still think the Bruiser Brody one to me was the best one.
I don't think I watched that one yet.
That was the best one.
I don't think I watched it yet.
One. That was to me. I saw that and I said, "Man, like between that one and the Von Erichs one, the Von Erichs.
I haven't seen the Von Erichs.
The
The
Von
Von
Erichs
Erichs
one?
one was so depressing.
Well, we know a majority of that story already because WWE has told it so many times. But it's something every time you hear it, you get that reaction that you're hearing it for the first time. Because, like Josh said, it is so depressing.
You know what?
They lost everybody.
You know, it's here's the thing. Like my favorite president of all time is JFK. But when you think of JFK, you think of with the Kennedys, you think of their family and how they lost so many people in their family, and it's an insane amount of people that have died. And at the times that they died, it was so. I mean, the Von Erichs, it just kept going and going, and it was just like between suicides and just between kidney failures and different just things and now it's Kevin is the only one that's remaining out of, I believe, the 5 or 6 brothers. That it's just insane that 5 of them passed. Kevin's the only one remaining in Hawaii. He lives in Hawaii.
With Marshall.
With Marshall and who's the other one? The other brother.
They're one of my favorite tag teams.
Yeah, they are.
They're great.
I love Devon Eric.
I would love for them to be in AEW. And I know, like,
They're happy in AEW, though.
oh,
That's
they
why-
are. But
yeah.
you know what? Picture them in a rivalry with the Bucks. How great of a story they could tell, or with FTR.
Oh, with FTR would be a great story.
Oh,
That would be phenomenal.
I can picture that. Wow.
I think they could tell a good story with the Bucks. Bucks can tell a good story with anybody. They can have good matches with anybody. I don't know how they'd match up with Lucha Bros. I think FTR and Young Bucks, they would do. Wow, they could do great things with.
I wanted to show you guys something.
Oh, we lost him. He's gone. He's
I
gone.
got this
Now
from a
he's back.
friend of mine for my 30th birthday.
You had
When I did the
you had a
fax to my
30th
friend
birthday?
Patrick. Yeah, it was my birthday.
Oh.
You missed it. You missed it. Genius on top of my left didn't even send me a text.
I did.
No, you
sent
did.
you a happy birthday.
The other guy didn't.
Oh, him?
Yeah. Bad job, Alex.
That way?
Alex, when it's your birthday, I'm just going to text you. Kiss my ass. That's how I'm going to text you.
There we go.
So my friend
I
Patrick
didn't want to text you too much on your birthday and make you like get suspicious.
No, it's
So
dude. You trust me. You're fine. Don't worry. But Alex, I haven't forgiven Alex. Alex was so funny. I was joking with Alex. And the funny thing, he's like,
I'm like,
he's
what?
like this. He goes like this. Alex he goes, damn it, Facebook's so stupid. Damn it, how did I forget? Oh, god damn it.
Alex, letting you know, we bust your chops and make fun of you because we love you.
I know.
Trust me, I bust Lyle's chops more than yours, so don't worry about it.
But he doesn't do it because he loves me. He does it because he hates me.
That's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's a fact.
Nice laugh, Alex.
He liked that one. So my friend Patrick got this for me for my birthday.
Hold on, wait. Before we get to that, you know what you sounded like when you laughed, Alex?
No, this is the Iron
No,
Sheik.
you jabroni!
Sheik, yeah. Oh, he signed
the
it?
Iron Sheik signed Funko Pop.
Oh,
yep.
wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, just don't. Did he, when you run into Iron Sheik, just don't bring up the name Hulk Hogan. Don't do it.
Oh, I'm totally going to do it next time I see him.
Why?
He hates Hulk Hogan.
He hates him. He doesn't like him.
Hold on, I've never heard this story before. How come?
Do you ever see his Twitter? Do you ever see his Twitter?
Oh, yeah, but I thought you were looking
He
at
insults
characters.
Hogan every day. He insults him every day.
Alex, when you laugh, you sound like the bad guy from
hyena.
No, you sound like the bad guy from Billy Madison.
Lyle, what about your laugh?
That's even worse. I'm not even going to get to that.
Exactly.
But
it's a
I
no
was gonna
win.
say, yeah, he hates Hulk Hogan. Like,
No, he hates
Hogan was
Hulk.
supposed to
Dude,
drop the belt.
Nada.
Hogan was supposed to drop the belt to him, and he like said, "Sheiky, I owe you one. Thank you for dropping. Thank you for selling that match to me." And Sheik wasn't happy because he just like didn't he didn't drop the belt to him. He promised him he was going to do it, and he didn't do it. So that's why Sheik's been mad for so long.
Oh,
Again,
I don't blame him.
Again, you're listening and watching us on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Off the Mat. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg, with Alex Lowe's and Lyle Gillen. Here joining you every Tuesday from 8 to 10 p.m. right here on WWSRN. To download our app, it's very simple. If you want to listen to us and watch us, you could type in WWSRN. If you have an iPhone, you go to the Apple Store. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store. You type in Worldwide Sports. You could get our show schedules, our content, our articles, all of the show programming that we have. If you missed a show or you want to re-listen to it, you could always go on there as well and hear the clips, hear the shows. You could stream it. If you're driving, listen to the audio feed. WorldwideSportsRadio.com as well. Check out our website. It's great. We're better than everybody else out there. I don't care what anybody says. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, you name it. We are on it. And listen, like I said, if you want to get everything, not just wrestling, but baseball, basketball, football, hockey, everything. Tomorrow we have Sports Loudmouths tomorrow from 9 to 11 tomorrow night with myself, Errol Marks, and Speedy Petey. We have our interview. We have a couple of interviews tomorrow. We have one interview we did with Iron Eagle. Iron Eagle is going to be talking. He talked with us the other day, so he's going to be, the interview will be on tomorrow. We're going to be talking to Zach Braziller, who is the college writer for the New York Post. He is the guy that he would talk about NFL draft. And then Austin Kale, who is a guy that works for Pro Football Focus. He is also going to be joining us tomorrow at 10:10. So at 9:30, Zach, 10:10, Austin. It's going to be all NFL draft stuff tomorrow. It's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be a great show because there's not going to be a show on Thursday this week.
Because of the draft.
Because of the draft, and it is.
I think that would have been a great episode to do. You do the draft show, and you could do it live as the draft is going on.
Oh, I hate that.
What are you doing for the draft?
Watch it. No, I have to watch it. I have to watch it.
What are you going to do for the draft then?
Me? I'm going to watch it with my parents, and then I'm going to read scouting reports on all these guys that get drafted. That's what I'm going to probably end up doing.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sounds like a fun time.
I get into. Does it really? I don't really think so. I mean, honestly, it's supposed to rain anyway.
So
Well, you'll be inside.
we were
so-
going to get back. Let's get back to New Japan. I know we want to talk a little New Japan, Alex. So let you start first. What do you like that New Japan has done the last few weeks?
So the last few weeks, I like the feud between Suzuki-gun and Roppongi 3K and Sho and Yo. And every week they've had Sho and Yo tag with a third man, a third different person. This week it was Tiger Mask. And Sho and Yo have been putting on a great, great show against Suzuki-gun. I love the rivalry there and how it's going there. And then the other thing I like about New Japan is how they're building the United Empire. I mean, like Aaron Hanare had a match against Sonata, but he lost the match. And Sonata and LIJ have been looking very good in New Japan recently. And then the tag team match, the United Empire, Jeff Cobb and Will Ospreay, they defeated Bushi and Shingo. So United Empire is continuing to look strong, even with Will Ospreay as the champion. And I think pretty soon they're going to have Ospreay defend his title again.
La,
What do you
what have
think?
you liked about New Japan the last few weeks?
People really hated that title when it first got debuted, but I've said it before. I don't mind that title. I think it's actually, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I think it's actually a nice title, and I know you hate it, Josh. But like I said, the more I watch it, the more I look at it, the more I like the title. I don't know if you agree with that, Alex, but I think Ospreay is a great person to have to be the first person to hold that version of it. Great for him to get this push, but unfortunately, I think it sucks that it's happening during a pandemic.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look what happened backstage. If you saw the clip on Twitter, Great O'Khan and the United Empire were outside, about to go into the venue to perform their match, and these fans were coming through the side door, and they're like, "Back away, back away!" Like, this is a global pandemic. Back away! Like Ospreay was screaming that at them.
You do a really good British Will Ospreay voice, like a good British accent. I meant, and like an imitation of Will Ospreay. Can you do it again?
Back away! This is a global pandemic. Back away. That's basically what he was doing.
And do you have any more quotes?
Great O'Khan is the best wrestler. Like, basically, they were just standing there and like shouting at fans to back away.
Really quick before, actually, no, I'm going to save it for my finisher. So keep going.
Oh, that's a little tease.
But I do like what New Japan is doing, and I want to see this feud between Zack Sabre Jr. and Tangaloa continue, because they've been going at it for the past 2 weeks now.
For me, I mean, look, Will Ospreay has earned the right to be the champion. We've known what's going on personally with him, but again, we had John Draper on that it is a different circumstance in different countries that, it goes differently, and it's the thing about Will Ospreay is he's earned this moment, very much so. It's crazy to see. I mean, I was a fan of Ospreay's, oh my God, Ring of Honor days. I'm going way back. It's Rev Pro. I mean, all that. I mean, that's how far back I go with Ospreay. I had his original T-shirt that was at Hot Topic years ago. I remember I wore that shirt to Revolution.
I remember we wore the G1 Supercard.
And look at it like, that's a Will Ospreay shirt?
I remember you wore it to G1 Supercard. You lost. You got mad and put your Taven shirt on.
Yeah, and he actually won. Yeah, and you know what I learned about that weekend? I learned to not wear British superstar T-shirts.
Yeah. You wore your
Pete Dunne Friday,
Pete Dunne shirt.
Walter.
But you said you knew that he was going to lose. I don't know why you wore it then.
I had a feeling, but I still maybe thought, oh, well.
No, bullcrap. You knew it.
I went in the whole day trying to think positive about it. But I knew Walter was the only guy that could end that streak.
You sound very sad right now.
Oh, I mean, it was a great match. I just wish the fans would have appreciated more. but they don't. I watch NXT UK.
I fully agree with you, though, that the reason why what we said it back then. I mean, what you said back then. Nobody really watched it back then, and they really didn't know who he was. And you could tell from the crowd reaction that many of the people that were reacting were British people.
What, at the NXT UK show? I mean, at New York?
Yep.
No. Walter didn't get a reaction. Dunn got a reaction.
No, I know. I'm talking about Walter. Walter got a reaction from the British people. They were doing it a little bit.
I agree with you. Dunn got a massive pop.
Yeah.
Dunn got a huge pop. Oh, everybody knows who Pete Dunne is. Pete Dunne got a huge pop. But I knew going into that day, I remember we were checking into the hotel. You asked me that morning, and you said, "Do you think Dunn's winning tonight?" I said, "No." And you said, "Why?" I said, "There's nobody that's like Walter that's going to be able to top or beat Dunn in this streak." It's just certain.
And now you look at it, who's going to beat Walter?
Well, that's the question, right? I mean, I think Walter's going to beat Dunn's streak. So, I mean, that's.
Didn't he already?
He might have actually already.
Yeah, he might have.
He might have already, I think.
But wow, I want to ask you about Saray's debut. What did you all think about that? Did you see that on NXT?
Josh can go first.
Did I see? I mean, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it. I think to me, NXT is starting to develop more superstars now. You see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you do.
Who have they really developed?
Kyle O'Reilly.
They've got
not really.
Dexter Lumis.
Kyle O'Reilly had a name outside of.
He did, but now it's going to grow immensely from where it was.
I won't 100% agree with that because people already knew what he was capable of. People already knew what he was capable of before this. It's just that they didn't show that side of him.
Yes, I understand that, but there's also people that did not ever watch Ring of Honor wrestling, where now he's on a big program like NXT, where he can now showcase his talents, where he didn't get that in Ring of Honor.
No. Okay, who else?
Okay, Dexter Lumis was one.
Yep.
Bronson Reed.
You can't forget about Bronson Reed.
Is it
Io Shirai.
Are you kidding? Really?
I don't think they made her. I don't think they really made her.
Oh my
god!
Oh, that's so bullshit. They made her. They made Rhea Ripley. Don't even go there.
Rhea Ripley, I'll give them credit for. Yeah.
They did too. She was okay.
She was big in Stardom, though. She was big over in Stardom.
That's fine. Okay, let me ask you this: when we went to Revolution, true or false, was Io Shirai at that show?
Yes.
Who did she face?
Toni Storm.
Did Io Shirai have any sort of reaction when she came out?
That I don't remember at all. All I remember from that match is the entire show. Okay.
No, I mean, who the hell she was?
That doesn't mean that she wasn't already made. Just means she got more exposure.
But I'm talking about made in the United States. If Will Ospreay had these issues in the United States, Will Ospreay would not be wrestling right now.
No, he would not.
But I don't really think that you should, or we should give a company credit for showing somebody off because in front of a crowd that does not watch professional wrestling.
There's another one. Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
He hasn't done enough, I don't think, to really become.
He'll get there.
Eventually. He became big from being in Evolve. That's how he got his name.
Yeah.
Austin Theory really hasn't done enough yet.
So here's the thing. I find it that NXT takes talent from other shows and they bring them over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
AEW, all of these shows do this.
Yeah.
The only show I legitimately say that does not do this is New Japan.
Yeah.
And if you want to go get Ring of Honor. If you want to really make the case, Ring of Honor and New Japan don't do this.
No, they don't.
Right.
They make their own superstars. Okay, AEW takes talent. NXT takes talent. They all take talent.
That's how it works at that level.
They just make them bigger.
Yes.
That's what it is. They make them bigger. To me, Karrion Kross is through the moon popular right now.
So is Raquel Gonzalez.
Raquel Gonzalez is that's one. That Alex got me there. And Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, look at her promo.
I forgot she existed.
I mean, look at her promo this week.
Injured, right?
She called out everybody in the back locker room.
No, that's the other one. I really hate what they did to her. She could have been so much bigger.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi's a good one. Yeah,
I liked her before WWE.
I'm just saying, though, they've made people bigger, and then even in AEW, they make players bigger. Darby Allin is through the moon popular right now.
Yep.
You can make the case, right? Adam Cole was popular.
Oh, he was huge before.
He was
NXT.
popular, Adam Cole.
He was huge before NXT. He was part of the elite.
You thought he was huge then? He's way bigger now.
Oh yeah.
That's just
Oh, my God.
After Takeover, like, come on.
Well, I'm gonna kind of disagree with him because majority of the people who watch
He's giving me
NXT,
on the show 4 times tonight, so it's okay.
but majority of the people who watch NXT already watched Adam Cole.
That is true.
No,
Is
that's
it-
fair to say, but at the same
That's
time,
fair.
though, I don't listen. Even when he was in ROH and just because he was in the elite, he was popular. But now, on a global with a global company, he's through the moon, way even more than he would. They even asked him in an interview. He even said, I knew I was popular before, but my God, with the amount of heights I've reached now is insane."
It's 'cause you get more eyes on you.
That's exactly it.
Well, let's adjust. I will if we're talking about
I don't need to adjust
made. Well, my definition of what WWE made somebody. You're taking somebody who was virtually unknown beforehand, making them bigger. Now,
If
I'm
Green
not.
didn't have his issue, he would have been there.
The only one I can think of that was big before they got to NXT was Kushida.
Like currently there, you're talking about
Yeah,
Prince Devitt.
can't leave him out. You can't leave. God, Finn Balor. You can't leave him out. You can't.
Can't leave him out. Can't leave him out. And then you got who else is there? Oh, LA Knight. What's his
Yeah.
name?
He had a name beforehand. Yep.
Eli Drake.
Eli Drake. Eli Drake was a guy that I will say this: they developed the women more
Better than the men. Yep. I will
Then they
agree
do.
100% with that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'll give you. I mean, look, even we talk about even NXT. What about NXT UK? Ilya Dragunov is ginormous in NXT UK.
Yeah.
She is. I mean, it's just that dude. That dude should get an NXT UK championship run. That dude deserves it. Dragunov.
Didn't he lose to Walter recently too?
Yes, he did. That dude deserves. Oh, Pete Dunne. They helped develop Pete Dunne.
Cameron Grimes is another one, but he came from
No,
Impact.
he came from Impact though. That was just
Yeah.
But didn't Dexter Loomis also come from Impact?
He did, but
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't
did.
as big as Cameron Grimes was. Cameron Grimes was huge in Impact.
Yeah, he was.
Cameron Grimes was ginormous. He was the X Division champion in Impact.
And now they got him in this money feud, and they're working towards putting him in a feud with Ted DiBiase.
They're making him a comedy wrestler.
Like I said, Ring of Honor and New Japan are really the two shows that don't buy. They don't buy the talent.
No.
I mean, they let talent go more than anybody. I mean, if you really want to get into, recently Ring of Honor got EC3. Great get for them. Huge get for them. His match. If you didn't check out his match with Jay Briscoe, it was awesome. I mean, if you didn't check it out,
Bring up EC3. I think we should all take a moment to wish him the best of luck in his recovery.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's in the hospital. Apparently had a very bad infection. And
Yes.
Let's wish him the best of luck in a speedy recovery. He's a great talent, and we're all praying for you there. EC3.
Yeah, I have his picture with me and him from Access down
He
here.
was probably the nicest guy we met.
Dude, he was awesome. You could shoot.
He was, yeah.
You could shoot whatever you want with.
What's gonna happen if that gets out? He's just gonna deny it. There's no proof. I didn't say that. What are you talking about?
Exactly. It doesn't matter. It was so funny. It was so funny when I said, look at you doing work this week. He goes, this is the most busiest I'm going to be this whole weekend.
He's not wrong.
He wasn't. The one with Sting, when I met Sting, that was funny.
But I got
You
one
met
more,
him before me.
I got one more thing to talk about NXT. What do you think about Karrion Kross possibly being put in a storyline of Kyle O'Reilly because
wow, you mean that's
I think
something I
that'd
didn't say 2 weeks ago?
He did say that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious.
I mean, like I saw an image of it on Twitter backstage.
It was
like,
obviously going to happen, guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's going.
So
to
wait,
happen.
hold on. Let's understand. We have established that it was obvious.
Yeah, it was.
It was
Yeah.
obvious.
He just beat Adam Cole in a street fight. Adam Cole is one of the most overt talents in NXT.
In the
Okay,
world.
so what's next?
Unsanctioned match.
So what's next for Kyle O'Reilly after that? What do you do with him then? What do you have him go against?
For the championship.
You just beat one of the top talents in the company. You've had 5-star quality matches, and not 4-star, by the way. I'm going to say 5-star with Finn Balor in the past. You go with it.
Yep.
He's held the Ring of Honor World Championship before. He's wrestled in the Tokyo Dome. Clearly, he can wrestle under pressure. It's a situation that he's accustomed to. Do I think he's going to be crossed? No, I don't.
It'll be a great showing. It'll be a good match.
I forget who said it. I think it was Kev said it. Kev Castle said it. I think he said, or it might have been John that said it. John Draper said it. It was one of them that said, it's so funny looking at Cross and how much bigger he is than Kyle O'Reilly is when you look at the two.
I think that was John because he went on a rant about everyone who was big.
Yeah.
And putting down everybody who's small, which was very entertaining.
I mean, it is, but you know what? It's all about creating the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. The biggest or the smallest, it doesn't. You know, it's interesting. I watch wrestling with my father sometimes, and my dad says to me, how is this even believable when you see, it was funny. It was coincidental. We were watching AEW. Riho was facing, what's her name?
Nyla Rose.
Rose. And my father says to me, he goes to me, he goes, look at me. He goes, how is this even believable that this girl can beat this animal?
He wasn't wrong. And your father is a smart man. Your dad's a very smart man.
That's not. He goes, I don't care if it's wrestling or not. That's not believable. She's 20 pounds. She's 300 pounds. He's not even close. He wasn't wrong. I said, you're right. I don't even have an argument for you. How is it even believable?
But that's a very true statement about AEW to a degree. If you don't watch the product or you're a casual viewer, that's how it comes off a lot of times.
I mean, he wasn't wrong though. It's just not believable. Riho beating Nyla Rose? Are you kidding me? Put those two in a street fight. Let's see who wins. No ref. No. Show.
I'm gonna say Riho.
You're out of your mind. You're drunk.
I can't even keep his face.
You're, in the words of Errol Marks, you're on drugs. You're on drugs.
He's on some other stuff, which you and I established. Yeah. he's on his own special stuff.
Well, Lyle asked Errol. They were at my wife's surprise party, and Lyle was sitting next to Errol. And Lyle asked Errol, he says, did you smoke crack? And it was so funny. My dad had the best line. My dad's known Lyle for years. My dad goes,
I'm sorry for him.
My dad goes like this. My dad goes, damn, man. When Lyle's asking you if you smoke crack, damn. Let's get to our finishing move. Let's get to it. Lyle, you go first, man.
I'm up first. I just want to say, I think that wrestling's in a great place right now. I really do. You look at what every single night we have something different that you can watch, and that whatever you want to enjoy, you can enjoy. So what people have to do is start enjoying it. I don't watch the main roster anymore because I don't enjoy it. I watch everything else for the most part because I enjoy it. And what we have to do is let people enjoy what they want, and don't start being that fan that turn people off from professional wrestling, because wrestling is fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. I wouldn't be going to Double or Nothing if it wasn't fun. That's what this entire thing is supposed to be. It's supposed to be something to take your mind off all the horrible things in the real world and let you enjoy something. Not for you
By
to
the way,
complain.
if you see a shirt that I might like, I'll Venmo it to you.
You'll Venmo me the shirt?
No, I'll Venmo you the money unless.
Okay.
You got me the boxy one last time at
Yes.
Home Depot.
Now, I would like to remind you, I don't have Venmo.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'll figure it out. You'll find something for me I'll like. Just don't do it. Don't do what you did that one year at WrestleMania where you come back with a freaking hat for me and you go, "Here you go."
It was a birthday present.
It's a goddamn WrestleMania 29 hat. When the hell am I ever going to wear that thing around the building?
How was I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know a half hour into the show that it was going to be dog crap?
The only thing I remember about WrestleMania 29 was was Ryback's back being thrown all out by lifting up Mark Henry.
You know what? I have to say, though, that was a memorable WrestleMania. It was
one of the worst ones ever.
Because that was The Rock's last real match at WrestleMania.
Well, for now.
I don't think it'll happen again.
Oh, they'll build him for Roman.
No, they won't. He won't do it. Because
he'll do it. He said he wants to do it, but he wants to do it in
that's different between him wanting to do it and him actually doing it because of movie contracts.
Alex, what is your finishing move tonight?
So my finishing move is I was at Publix the other day and I picked up the June 2021 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. If you haven't yet, I would highly recommend getting this magazine because there are some good stories in here, good articles. There's one about Jonathan Grisham. There's one about Shotzi Blackheart. You got one about WrestleManias, the backstory, what we got instead, what the alternative could have been, and what didn't happen. So there's a lot. This is based. There's just a lot of different stories in here. So I highly recommend picking up one.
All right, guys. So my finishing move, I alluded to it earlier. There's a reason why I am wearing the shirt that I am wearing tonight. I'm very proud to be wearing this shirt, by the way, in all seriousness. Ring of Honor, if you didn't see it, just had their 500th show recently. And the big headline match was Mark versus Jay Briscoe. And Lyle knows this, what a big fan I am of them. If you don't know, to me, they're one of the best tag teams in the world. I don't care. I will. You two know, especially Lyle definitely knows this. I will argue this with you until you just quit.
They suck.
The statistics, yeah, okay, go screw yourself, all right? They don't suck. You know. Okay? Shut up, you. The statistics show that they are one of the greatest tag teams in the world, and they've done it for so long. They've done it for a very, very long time. And to me, listen, if you haven't watched the match yet, go watch it. I loved it. They had it was such a treat because coincidentally it was my birthday weekend, and then of course they have Ring of Honor gets taken over by the Briscoes that weekend. I said, this is awesome. I said, this is not. I mean, go back and watch their old matches with War Raiders. Go back and watch their matches with War Machine. Go back and watch their matches with the Young Bucks and their rivalry with those teams.
Yeah, you
go check it out, and it's crazy. You look back, and that's how long they've been. Jay Briscoe was the heavyweight champion a couple times in that company. I don't know if
you got to give them credit for not leaving. You really got to give them credit.
I mean, they've stuck by, and they've been offered. I don't care. People have said they will never work. They've been offered contracts by the WWE. They've refused to go to WWE because they don't want their character being fixed. They are who they are, and they like who they are, and that's a fact. And those are facts.
Yeah.
Okay. And to me, there are guys that when you look at them, Alex, I don't know if you've ever gotten a chance to go see them on YouTube. Go watch them. They're a treat to watch. Go watch their promo work. Lyle knows just with the father. With their dad, when he said you kicked that boy in the nuts, you know.
The best was Melissa's reaction to when she saw
my ugly sweater. Oh, my ugly sweater. Oh
no! You showed her a video of them, and the
The one with the steel
You
chair.
watch this?
The one with the steel chair.
Yeah.
That was before Ring of Honor when they were wrestling in the backyard and Jay hit Mark in the head with the chair. Over
No.
and over.
You showed them one of the promos of them.
Oh, the one on their
She's like,
farm.
She's like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
The one about facing the Young Bucks. Yeah, I showed her that one. She thought that was. I showed her that one, and I showed her the one right before the MSG showdown with when they only held the belts. When it was originally going to be them versus God at MSG, which I wish they would have stuck by that. I understood they wanted to have Sonata Evil, and they wanted to have PCO and Brody King in it because PCO was so over at the time. I understood what they were trying to do. Ring of Honor. If you just did the Briscoes versus God, that match would have been awesome. Perfect. Done. Go check out their stuff. They're awesome. They're interesting characters, to say the least. They're not like us. They're definitely not like us. But they're great. I think they're guys. They've been stables in Ring of Honor. They've been left. They have not left. They've never left, and they never will leave. I just want to throw that out there. They're never going to leave. They will never leave until that company goes under. And then at that point, they have to figure out what they're going to do. And who knows if they're ever going to go under Ring of Honor. They're never going to AEW. They're never going to WWE. They are not doing that. And they never will do that. That doesn't fit their mold. They don't want to show. They were on NWA for a little bit. But that's who the Briscoes are. They're great. And to have that match headline that show was perfect. Mark versus Jay. It was great. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. Mark won via count out, which is the perfect way to do it, I think, because nobody got pinned. And it showed that there's a little bit, he won by a count out, but who's better? So, So that's it for us tonight, by the way. For those of you, again, check out our app. Download it at WWSRN on the Apple Store. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store, type in Worldwide Sports. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, you name it. We are on it. Don't forget to tune in to Sports Lab Match tomorrow, 9 p.m. It's going to be all NFL draft. Also, the interview. We have a couple of interviews with Zach Braziller joining us, Austin Gale joining us, and, of course, Iron Eagle. So that's going to happen tomorrow. Check that out for sure. And check out, of course, the Weekend Crunch on Saturday.
Did you ask Iron Eagle about his interview of Barney Stinson?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I thought about his son. I asked him about his son at all.
I would have asked him about his interview with Barney Stinson.
No, I didn't do that. Anyway, for Alex Lowe's, Lyle Gillen, I'm Josh Silverberg. This is Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We will see you next week, same time. Enjoy wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, goodbye and good night. Bang.
Bye!
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.